Good morning, everyone. Today is the 1st of May, May Day. I've entitled this video, When Things Don't Work Out as Intended or as Expected. Sometimes we have certain expectations. Sometimes we think they're realistic, but sometimes they're unrealistic, and sometimes we just we just don't have an idea of what's going to actually happen because we control. You can make all the plans you want, and many times your plans just don't work out, do they? Because God has in mind. How many times in my life have I set out to do something and I thought, this is going to be a pretty easy deal to accomplish this, and it never comes into fruition because of different things, different circumstances. Other people have different ideas than I do. God has a different idea than I have. You look at it and you say, well, this must be the will of God because this is the direction I'm going. And then you find out that things don't work out the way you expected they work out, and it becomes a little bit of a disappointment. So we have to remember Romans 8:28, don't we? We know all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose. It doesn't say some things work together for good. It says all things work together for good. Well, we may look at these events in our lives. We may have worked very, very diligently to have something happen. We may have thought we dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, but it just didn't work. And we wring our hands and say, oh, if I'd only done this, or if I'd only done that. I heard a guy recently make a statement. God gives us choices. You got these choices. You can make good decisions or you can make bad decisions. It's not all based upon our choices. It's based upon God's choice. It seemed as though Joseph's brothers were making some very bad choices for Joseph, selling him into Egypt. But later Joseph told him, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. All things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to purpose. That includes bringing death into your family members. That includes tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis. That includes losing a job. That includes not having been successful in a business. That means illnesses. That means every situation in your life, if you're one of God's elect, according to this, works together for good to them that love God and them that are called according to His purpose. It's not based upon you making all the right choices. If you believe this, any choice you make is right if God is in it, right? Used to have this song they'd sing, little as much if God is in it. Well, let me tell you something, God's in everything. He sees a little squirrel that gets run over on the road. He sees a sparrow that falls. You don't think He knows about what's going on in your life and my life? It's not just providence, it's also purpose. Notice it says, to them are called according to His purpose. His purpose. So when I set out to do something and it doesn't come into fruition, I have to go back to Romans 8:28. Say, you know what? things aren't always as they seem. You know, yes, I'm disappointed this didn't come into fruition the way I thought it was going to be. Yes, people have disappointed me. Yes, people have made certain commitments they haven't kept to me, but you know what? God is the one who works all things after the counsel of his own will. May the good Lord be with you this morning is my prayer. God bless.